Hey guys, and welcome back to another video on the Monolith channel. It has been a few weeks since the last build for Monolith was released, the July build, which was, if you're unaware, a little kind of, I would say a little update to the June build. The June build was huge, the April build was more of a tech demo, and the June build is what kind of made Monolith feel more like an actual game. And the July build just added on to that. It added Diox, some other smaller things, but I'm not going to recap the whole history of all the builds. But basically, with the June and July builds respectively, Monolith actually has begun to start to feel like a game. The April build was a huge step in terms of allowing the public to test and play Monolith for the first time, but ultimately it was very flawed. There's a lot of janky areas, a lot of just areas which weren't polished outright. So I'd say the April build was more like a tech demo. Now we're actually closer to a product that I would be happy to say this is a game. This is the full, the full pie, the full picture. But we're not just there yet. So I would consider the July build more of like, we're going to use that pie analogy, more of like a crumb of the pie or a taste of the pie. You're getting some good stuff, but you're not getting the full picture. You're not getting the whole pie itself, right? That's where the next build comes into play. The build I've been working on, it's going to probably take longer than the other recent ones, but it's going to be worth the wait. Let's just say that. It's not going to be the August build. It's not going to be the September build, not the October build. It's going to be the full demo for Monolith. This means you're going to be able to find it on Steam. You're going to be able to find it on itch.io. This is going to be the real deal. This is like you're getting the whole pie, but you're not allowed to eat it all yet. You just get a cut of it. But you're going to be able to see all that the game is going to have to offer, or like at least a big portion of it. Obviously more stuff will be added in that full release, but you're going to see kind of the foundation of stuff, if that makes any sense. Essentially, what will this demo contain over the July build? Well, there's obviously going to be a lot more polish. I'm not going to go through each and everything that I'm going to work on, but a lot of little complaints that I've not fixed yet. Like I believe there are still some resolution problems with small and large displays. That will be fixed. More quality of life, of course. If you're unfamiliar with the changes made in the July build, I basically added a bunch of quality of life settings that I think are very small on paper. It's stuff like pausing the game when you open up chests and certain menus in free roam zones. Stuff like showing Monolith HP as a real number rather than a percentage. It is small stuff on paper, but it goes a very long way, so I'm going to be sure to have more of that. But the biggest selling point of this demo is probably the modes. Now, right now in Monolith, there aren't really modes. You have the game that you launch into, you pick a character and you're in. That's not going to be a thing anymore with this next build. It's going to be split up into 3 modes on the menu. Or well, not even, you're going to have the arc selector when you press play, which the demo, why I say it's not the whole pie and just a slice of it, that's because you're only going to be able to play arc 1. What the arcs mean, I will probably get back to it later in the video, but basically all you need to know is they're kind of like chapters in a lot of other games in terms of the story and also gameplay. But yeah, for the demo it's only going to be arc 1. So we'll ignore the arcs for now, but you click arc 1 and you've got yourself 3 modes. We'll go through classic first because that is what Monolith is right now. That's going to be the mode I think people will spend the most time on. It's basically just a classic game of Monolith. It ends when you defeat the spectral Monolith. And then, you're done. There's going to be now rewards you get for completing it on top of your golden trophy and golden outlines, which I'll get back to those in a minute because those have changed slightly. But yeah, there's going to be currency that you're going to keep from when you close the game and open it. You're going to have that currency on the menu, and that's going to be what you're going to use to unlock new characters and unlock things like character skins, which I'll speak more of when I have more info on the development of that. But yeah, it's going to be cool stuff basically. It's going to make the game feel a little bit more rewarding for each completion you make. But on top of your classic mode, you have 3 difficulties now. You've got easy mode for classic mode, so these all apply to classic mode. Easy mode is the same as it is right now. It's just a little bit more formal in the sense you access it for a menu rather than the settings screen. And as well as that, the Monolith fawn damage, so that's the damage the spectral and mini boss Monolith still, that will be reduced by 25%. So yeah, easy mode is still around. If you want to use it because you prefer to play the game that way, or you simply just want to do a little practice run for a character you're not too familiar with, it's still going to be there. We also have normal mode, which is obvious. That's the recommended experience to play the game. By completing normal mode, you'll still get yourself a golden character trophy, but you will no longer get a golden character outline, because now that is part of the new hardest difficulty, agony mode. The gameplay on screen is actually from me playing a run of agony mode, and I will note now the feature list for what will be different in agony mode isn't complete, but essentially right now it makes dense and withered monoliths spawn all over the map rather than the second and third segments. It makes monolith health higher, and it replaces normal monoliths with weeping monoliths in the second and third map segments. Now, what are weeping monoliths? They're basically identical in terms of health to your standard monolith, but the big, and I'll say big difference, is that if you mess up your weapon minigame, it will pick a random slot. It could be an empty slot, it could be a full slot, and it will delete it. It will delete whatever is in that slot. So you could lose your run by messing up on one of these guys, because they could delete your like a passive attachment that has a really high multiplier that's carrying you. So yeah, weeping monoliths, they're not harder in the sense you got to put more ammo or more damage into them, but they're harder in terms of how skillful you are at your minigames. But agony mode will give more of that currency I mentioned, and on top of that it will give golden character outlines, and it will give a new purple agony trophy. But that's it for classic mode. There's two others, and I think one of them are going to be pretty huge for the game, so I'll get to that last. But probably the smallest of the three modes, we have endless mode. Endless mode is very kind of self-explanatory. Once you defeat the Spectral Monolith, you loop around, and obviously the difficulty comes from monoliths getting stronger over time, and there's going to be a few other little things thrown in to make it not just really repetitive, right? So there's going to be like kind of a roguelike aspect to it, where every time you defeat the Spectral Monolith, you can pick a permanent upgrade. So maybe like extra base damage or more crit multiplier, basically just the boost you get from the chill zones, but much stronger essentially. But yeah, endless mode will be it will be very similar to classic normal. It won't be agony, it won't be easy, but the difficulty is obviously going to come from that infinite aspect. And finally, for the modes, we have the one I'm most excited for personally. We have campaign mode. Now, I have spoken about it very briefly before on these videos, I'm pretty sure anyways, but Monolith is going to be a game which doesn't just have what is hopefully great gameplay, it's going to also have great story on the side. That is going to be accessed through this campaign mode, and basically how it will work is you get these little, it's broken up into missions for each arc. So again, the arcs and the chapters, that's how those will work. But basically, yeah, campaign mode. This it will have these pre-built missions where it will have some limitations, like you must play this character, you must use these attachments, you must not use these attachments, and as well as that, the missions are going to have custom gameplay elements in that sense, but the actual story elements will come from cutscenes that will play at the beginning and end of missions. So these cutscenes and these missions will tie together to show you what is going on in the story and the continuity of Monolith. It will actually give you some insight on what the hell the monoliths are, what each character's motives are, and it will lead into a cliffhanger, which will obviously be teasing arc 2. And the hope is that each arc is going to be improving on the previous, and it's going to end up leading into a very satisfying story. I have a lot of it planned out right now, but again, I'm not going to give any spoilers, but if I'm able to tell that full story to its full extent, then you're going to be in for a treat. But yeah, campaign mode with all those cutscenes with the custom gameplay elements. So yeah, campaign mode, very exciting. The reward for completing campaign mode, on top of getting that those story beats, is the fact you're going to be able to play Arc 2, and you're going to unlock a character skin. So yeah, to play the next arc, you got to beat the first. And other than the campaigns being different in each arc, the classic modes are also going to be different in the sense that the free roam areas will look visually different. There might be some new special monoliths. There might be monoliths in place of the mini boss and spectral monoliths, and there'll be little alterations basically. So playing classic mode in each arc should feel different, and obviously the campaign mode and endless mode by proxy will. So yeah, those are the modes. That's probably the biggest part of this demo, but it is an absolute colossal addition. I will mention it briefly, but there is also going to be some extra stuff sprinkled in with this new demo version of Monolith. that I won't spend too much time on, and it's basically just a big bucket of ideas I've had lingering around for a long time, and I might throw some of them in the game. I will reveal one here since it is developed and it will be coming, but kind of like the opposite of the recycler, which if you're not familiar with that, it's something in there is a structure in freedom areas where you can put in an attachment and it will give you back a random attachment of the same tier and delete that attachment. So you put in an eye of circulation, you might get a relinquished. The demolisher is a kind of new alternate version of the recycler. They both can spawn in at the same time. They're both a 75% chance of spawning in each free roam zone, but the demolisher, it doesn't actually delete the attachment you put in, which sounds surprising probably considering the name is the demolisher. But what it does is, let's say I have bandages, I put the bandages into the demolisher, I'll never see those in that run again. So if I assume this will be most useful for classified attachments. If you got a Midas eye or a caustic concoction and you were just thinking, man, I really don't want these items, I do not want any more, I want myself a relinquished, I want myself an eye circulation, then you can throw those in and your rods are better. So yeah, the demolisher will add a little bit of strategy in terms of that. There's also a character I've been considering adding. I'm sure at least 1 or 2 characters will be added on top of the existing ones in this build, since I believe people like the new character additions the most out of anything. But I will not give any guarantees for now. But anyways, that's about it for features. I will just point out now, this is going to take a hell lot of time, right? I was originally planning to have it done by the end of August, but I'm already really busy as it is now, and it's going to get a lot busier early into next year and after the summer ends. So do bear in mind it's going to take probably a few months before you can actually see and play it for yourself. But along the way, I'm going to be posting teasers, I'm going to be posting snippets of gameplay, and if anyone wants to suggest anything, then feel free to chime in on the Discord. But yeah, this video right now is kind of just for like the die-hard fans. I do want to start marketing Monolith now. I'm actually looking for a bigger audience with this coming on Steam and itch.io. So once I do start making those, probably the TikToks and YouTube shorts, do feel free to like those. Obviously subscribe to the channel if you really want to make your own videos, I'd appreciate it. But yeah, basically anyone who's played Monolith up till now, hopefully you're looking into something where it's going to be big in the future, because this demo is going to be a huge step up from the previous ones. But that's about all I can share with you all today. Hopefully the video was insightful, and like always, have a great day.